Hi, today we are going to make glazed donuts, and these are going to be donuts that we fry. So we're first going to start out with 1 cup of milk, and we're going to put that into a microwave safe dish because we're going to be putting it in the microwave and heating it up just till it gets about 100 degrees. I think I did it for about 1 minute. And then this is where I kind of messed up my recipe because I was supposed to pour half of it into the mixing bowl, and instead I poured all of it. And then we're going to put 1.5 tablespoons of yeast into our mixing bowl along with that milk. Yep, only supposed to be half. It's fine, it all goes in there anyways. And then we're also going to put about 1 teaspoon of sugar in there so that way the yeast has something to eat. So we put it in there. We're going to put our dough hook on. Oh, nope, we switched to the paddle hook. And we're going to beat it just for a second just to get all mixed up. Then we will turn it off and we'll cover it, and we are going to let that sit and get all bubbly for about 5 minutes. Okay, then once that is done, we're all bubbly, we are going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. We're also going to add 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix that up so that it gets all mixed together before we add our flour. Okay, we are going to add 2.5 cups of flour. There's 1, 2, and we're going to mix that up before we add our last half. Sorry for interruption, I was getting text. Yeah, so we're going to end up adding our last 1/2 cup of flour. You want the dough to kind of come clean off the sides. It's going to be very tacky, but when you touch it, it should stick but not stay on your fingers. It should stick and then release. And we're going to let that go. And it says to let it knead for about 5 to 7 minutes. So I started at 5 minutes and checked it, and then let it go for the last 2 minutes also. It's been a while since I made the donuts, so I keep checking my recipe. Okay, after our 7 minutes, we're going to check it. And it is a very sticky dough. but it comes off. So now we are going to cover that. You can use plastic wrap, or I just use a towel and let it rise for 1 hour. I usually put it somewhere close to my oven or even in my oven just to warm it up or to keep it warm. And we sprinkled our flour down, and we're going to get our dough out of our bowl. Eventually, like I said, it's a sticky dough. I'm just going to make sure and get everything scraped out of the bowl. Okay, and we have let this rise, so it is a fluffy dough, and we want to keep it fluffy. So when we're kneading it, we're not really kneading it, we're just kind of pushing it out gently because we want it to keep its fluff. We don't want to be too rough with it. But yep, we're just going to push it out. Okay, and we're going to get our baking sheet ready. And I don't have a donut cutter, so I just picked a glass that's a pretty good size glass. So we would cut our circles. And the dough is kind of sticking. So, because I forgot to put extra flour out for it. But we'll fix that in just a second. Yep. Okay, we're just going to make a little pile of flour so we can be dipping our cutters into it. Much better. You could honestly make these any shape that you like. Just remember that they are going to rise. And this is when you would use like an apple core or like a little shot glass. I don't have either, so this is my pineapple core, but it works. And then you get your little donut holes. Like I said, you can make them any shape you would like them to be. Oh, yep, we're going to use a silicone liner because I don't like cleaning dishes. Yep, we're just going to transfer them all over. And then we are going to cover them up, and we are going to let them rise about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, and then when we're getting close to our time being done, we're going to take our pan and we're going to put on the stove, heat up our oil in it. I like doing a larger pan just so that way you can fit more in them. They did rise, some of them bigger than others. And you want your oil about 350 degrees. I don't take its temperature, so I just kind of put one of our donut holes in there to test it. And while we're waiting for our oil to heat up, we're going to make our glaze, because these ones are going to be glazed donuts. So we have 1/4 cup of butter. And then we are going to use, eventually, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm putting all this in the stand mixer. You can mix it by hand. This way I know that all the clumps should get out of it. And then to this, then we're going to use our whisk attachment. Powdered sugar likes to stick everywhere. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm sorry, I probably really should have sped up this clip. But we're gonna have that getting mixed up. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And 2 teaspoons of milk. This is going to make a somewhat thin glaze. It will seem a little bit thicker at first, but then once we actually put our donuts in it, it does get very thin. That's okay because this will make a nice thin glaze on our donuts. Or if it was thicker, it'd be more like a frosting on them. We're just wanting to make sure there's no clumps of powdered sugar in it. That's all incorporated well. And I'm following a recipe. Oh, there's our little donut hole sacrifice. This is going to be so we can test to see if our oil is hot enough yet or not. I will link the recipe that I use in the description down below, but I would just like to say it lies for how long it says that it takes. It's like, oh, we can make donuts in 45 minutes. No, you can't. Because it's going to sit for an hour and it's going to sit for like another 45 minutes. Yep, so there's our glaze. So it does take a while. I'm transferring our glaze into a bowl that the donut should fit into nicely. And it'll be a little bit deeper then, so we can hopefully get both sides dunked. Good news is while you are waiting for your donuts to rise and your oil to heat up, you can also clean your dishes that you're making along the way. And once your donut hole seems to be the like brownness that you're looking for, you can go ahead and start adding your donuts slowly. Don't put too many in, otherwise it will overcrowd it and they won't cook evenly. Though I'm impatient, so I think I end up putting 3 into my oil. Along with some donut holes. This recipe made about a dozen donuts and then also a dozen donut holes. And oh, that's a lot of donuts. Except for the donuts are so fluffy and light and warm and they're delicious. Our family of 3 will down the dozen of donuts if I don't get any of them put away. While the donuts are warm, I do like to dunk them, and I dunk both sides of them. And that's why we also have our drying rack to help them cool also, but I also put a pan under there to catch any excess grease or also any excess icing or glaze, I guess. The donut holes are kind of a pain. They like to keep rolling as you're trying to hold them down so that they cook evenly. Yeah, trying to help it didn't help. They still just keep rolling. If you don't want the glaze, you can also roll them while they're somewhat warm. So you can just roll them into granulated sugar or even like a cinnamon sugar. Or if you let them cool, you could also toss them in some powdered sugar. It's all going to depend on what kind of donuts you like. Look how big and fluffy they are. These donuts really are delicious. And they're not going to be like $1 or more like they are at the grocery store or the donut shop. I'm doing this with my hands, but these donuts are hot. So if you're smart, you'll use like a fork to put them in and take them out. I eventually do. And I also tried, ooh, look at the donut. Just a minute, you'll see it in a second. Ooh, the steam. Look how fluffy it is. They are delicious. My son wanted strawberry donuts. Look, see, I had to get smarter with the fork. So I took our glaze and I actually just add some strawberry syrup, like what you would put to make strawberry milk. And add just a hint of strawberry, but it add the pinkness. And it's very tempting to like have your oil on high, so that way they'll cook faster, but then you also get them doughy on the inside. Thank you for watching. We really do suggest this recipe. Give it a try. And if you do try it, comment below if you liked it or not. Thanks. Talk to you later.